remember when we first met?
It was a long time ago.
I've felt your agony. I can help you.
What do you know about me?
Everything.
His heart died in 1944. What he is now, there's no word for it. Except monster.
He's driven by hate. He'll come because he has to come. To finish him.
Here you have the chance to be part of something much bigger than yourself.
Sorry, Charles. Things have changed. Mankind will know that mutants exist.
President Kennedy is dead.
We're the next stage of human evolution. Join us.
Senator Kelly.
We need to remind the American people who their enemies are. That is why we put this new strategy into motion.
The war is still coming, Charles, and I intend to fight it. And that fight begins now. What made you so special?
These radicals are uniting against us.
Killing will not bring you peace. My name is Magneto. And this is neither the beginning nor the end of my story.
Eric, what have you done? Welcome to the future, the future, the future, the future. Old friend, old friend, old friend.
What I'm trying to say is you can't say that the black community is messed up and we need to fix it while at the same time exhibiting behavior that basically destroys the black community. You got to make up your mind what you want to do here. Either you want to build and you want to correct it, or you don't. And that's how you build and that's how you correct it, by basically mentoring and tutoring young black boys, irregardless of if the mama want to fuck you. You know what I mean? But if you don't want the black community to resurrect and actually become something, then by all means, man, you know, do you. You know what I mean? If you don't want to be taken care of, remember, I said this will take sacrifice. You're going to have to sacrifice your ego. You're going to sacrifice your time, all in the name of the collective, to try and cure what's going on, this rampant disease of this stupidity and ignorance that's going on, man. But Negroes, black men, like I said, they elevate the pussy above everything. If they ain't fucking, nothing's happening. If I can't fuck, I ain't doing nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know, and it's strange. You know, it's not strange,
right,
that you say it, because we have to face facts.
Mm-hmm.
You say, well, if they were this or they were that, but this is who they are.
Mm-hmm.
They are hypocrites. They don't give a shit about the black. They don't care about the black community, man.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care about the black community. They don't care about their family. These are the incorrigible misfits of the culture. They're really, you know, bastards, so to speak, in that there's no father of responsibility. There's no father of maturity. I'm not talking about a physical father. Mm-hmm. There's no development of maturity. They haven't matured to the level of a father. They haven't matured to the level of a provider, a husband, or a head of household. These are bastards.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm talking 30-year-old bastards, 50-year-old bastards, 60-year-old bastards. That's what we have in the black community. And what we are, I said this, you know, Clubhouse, I'm saying it here, we are the sons of bitch, the daughters of bastards and the sons of bitches.
Right.
So they're not interested in that. They have no concern in that. Everything is hedonistically driven. Everything is all about their pleasure, which actually makes you weak.
Right.
Which actually makes you weak. If you live a life consumed with pleasure, you live a life consumed with pleasure, it makes you soft.
Yes, it does. I can attest to that. Yeah, buddy.
Your reflexes are dampened. You know, your reflexes dampened.
Yeah, man. You gotta avoid extremes.
You're not as sharp as you used to be. You know, you can't live this life consumed with just guttural hedonism all the time. And that's what a lot of these dudes want to do, because what they're saying is, I live my life working for 20 or 30 years. You're a grown-ass adult. You're supposed to work. You're supposed to feed yourself.
Right.
Nigga, you want a biscuit? You know, for being able to build a pension so you can have some place for your ass to retire when you get old? You want an award for that?
Wow.
You know, but that's the standard and the bar is so low, and there's so few exceptions of achievement, of real achievement, till the standards are retarded. So, yeah, no, I don't want to do anything for the community if I can't fuck. I don't want to do it if I can't. You remember Kill Bill 2?
Yeah.
What's that? What that nigga said to them women in the hospital? My name is Buck. And
I
I'm
like
here
the
to fuck.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what this is. My name is Buck, and I'm here to fuck. And it's like, okay, and you're here. You're going to give what in exchange? They ain't gonna give you shit. You should give it to me anyway. You know, you got kids. You know, you should give it to me anyway. You on food stamps.
Right.
You lucky I'm even speaking to you. This is how stupid you are. You done walked into a den where a chick is starving. Her predatory instincts are on fleek. Her reflexes are sharpened.
Right.
She's hatching all kind of plots to divorce you from your money.
Right.
You're going to go to that individual and tell that individual that not only do you want to sleep with her and you don't know her and she's not attracted to you, but you want to slut her out for free. Yeah. With no type of background, with no type of relation, no type of rapport, no type of anything. You actually want to do this to this dragon. You actually want to do this to this dragon. And I want you to insert this part in the video. Dracarys. You understand?
Yeah, Game of Thrones, baby.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what you want to do to this individual. But that's how they see themselves. That's how they look at this. You look at it, you got death all around you, and you don't even know it. This is somebody that is trying to survive. They need those resources to survive, and they will kill you for them. But you think you're going to walk in her face and dress her down and she's starving.
You basically talking some very unpopular shit right now, man.
Well, I know it's unpopular. I never cared about being popular.
Yeah, man. You know, you got folks listening to this was like, man, I thought Tony was cool.
I'm responsible for what I say, not for what you understand.
Right.
Because here's the thing. I've always said you can't live by your ego. And that's the nigga's number one flaw, is his ego. That's his Achilles heel, is his ego. Is his ego. You know, you think that you can take something from somebody and not give them anything. You want to come in and gorilla pimp a bitch. You ain't got no hands. You ain't got no heater.
Okay.
But you gonna gorilla pimp a bitch. Or talk slick to one that's starving.
Wow.
And you don't offer her nothing. Come on, Mac. You know you can't do that. that.
Nah, you can't do that, man. But like I said, just going back to saving the community, let's like do the math on this, right?
Okay.
I fostered and I adopted 7 boys.
Yes.
Now, out of those 7 boys, I would say 5 of them are doing really well. You know what I mean? So the reality is, for all intents and purposes, of course, I can't take full credit. You know, wifey was on the job too, man. You know what I mean? It took both of us to actually do it. But we potentially saved 5 different bloodlines. You know what I mean? We basically went ahead, stepped forward, and was like, you know, not on our watch. We gonna make sure that y'all get y'all education. We gonna make sure that y'all come up in a nice home, that y'all have nice memories and nice stories to tell and whatnot. And yeah, we potentially saved 5 bloodlines, man. So those 5 boys are gonna go ahead and they're gonna procreate, and they're gonna start off much better than they would have if they hadn't come into our home. You know what I mean? So, and I reap the rewards and the dividends of that all the time, man. My boys, my sons are always calling, checking on me and whatnot. When we just had this blizzard roll through last week, man, I had my boys come over and shovel the snow out my driveway and whatnot. You know what I mean? I can't express to these fellas, man, just how much of a reward.
They don't want to hear that. They want to fuck.
Yeah, they just want to fuck. They ain't trying to hear all that shit. But you know that
they're not going to make that contract. That was my point in that whole little soliloquy. They're not going to make that sacrifice. They ain't interested in that. They ain't interested in that. They're just flat out. Now, you know what? You know the saying. Fuck them kids. Fuck them kids.
Dude, man. Yeah, if you want to save the community, man, that's what you got to do, man. But you end up getting blessed yourself in the long run if you play in the long game.
Man, they ain't trying to do all that shit.
Right.
They ain't trying to do all that shit. They're trying to take. They're trying to fuck and take away. They ain't trying to give anything. They don't come there and give. What did Don Corleone say? He said, he told it to Bonacetta, the guy that came in there and asked him to kill the men that raped his daughter. He said, you've never come into my home and for a cup of coffee.
Right.
He said, I can't remember the last time,
Chris, California,
you know, you've invited me into your home. He said, you don't even think to call me Godfather.
Right.
He said, but you come in my home on the day of my daughter's wedding and ask me to commit murder for money.
Yeah.
You asking me to risk getting indicted and getting killed for money. So what have I done to make you treat me so disrespectfully? You know, that's what they on. They don't come offering anything. He said, if you had, you know, shown me, Don Corleone said that if you would have come to me in friendship, he said these men that suffered, that ruined your daughter, they would be suffering this very day. And if they made enemies, your enemies will be my enemies, and then they will fear you.
Yeah.
He said, but you don't ask with friendship.
Wow.
You know, and that's what this is. They don't want community. They want everything, but they don't want to give anything. And they don't even want to give basic human respect to the people that they want to exploit. Come on, Mac, you can't do that.
Right. Shit. And no one's saying that you can't have your cake and eat it too, as far as, you know, you meeting females out there. You know, you can still get your hedonistic swerve on, but
yeah, you can.
But every now and then, you know, reach back and help somebody, man.
You gotta respect the ebb of the give and take.
Exactly.
You gotta respect the ebb of the give and take. And they seem unable to appreciate that. They seem unable to accept that. You know, you just want to take. And there's a saying, pigs get fat, but hogs get slaughtered.
Right.
And that's what we have out here. We have a bunch of hogs. They don't want to give back. They don't want to make any sacrifices. They don't want to give to the community. They don't want to give any time. They don't want to do anything like that, man.
And
they don't want to do that.
And they're basically thinking like women. That's what they're doing.
They're exactly thinking like women.
You know, and they don't see that. They don't comprehend that shit. I'm like, look, you cannot go through life thinking like a woman, expecting to get a woman to rock with you and get with you. I mean, you got the thought process of a woman. The thought process of a woman is highly selfish. You know what I mean? You know, due to biology, due to nature, she has to be that way since she's the weaker sex. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But just like what you were saying, they don't want to make no sacrifices, and they don't want to do this, and they don't want to do that, and they pointing the finger at her. But what about her? She get to do this, and she get to do that. Men and women, two totally different sets of rules for both of us, man.
And to go back to the Godfather, what can I do? What can I do? You can act
like a man.
Like a man.
Man.
You can act like a man, and I'm like, okay, I see why. And I set up and I said, okay, I see why some of these niggas get robbed. I see why. I understand it now. I didn't understand it before, but I understand it now. I see how they get set up. I see why they getting set up. I understand it now. I didn't see it. I didn't understand it before. I see why they getting pistol whipped and, you know, and stretched out.
Right.
I get it now. I get it. There's certain things you can't do, but they're behaving like entitled women. You have to do it because. You have to do it because I have a job. You have to do it because excuse me. You have to do it because I worked 30 years and I never went to prison. You have to do it because I have a clean record. You have to do it because I did this or I did that. You know, and it's mediocre shit. That's what killed me. It's not that, you know, I became a PhD or I excelled in astrophysics or, you know, it's nothing that's really laudatory.
Okay.
It's nothing that, there's no high scale of achievement. It's basic shit. Well, I did get arrested. Well, I got my driver's license. I deserve some pussy. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
You know, well, I worked an 8-hour shift and I deserve some pussy. You know, I took out the trash, so I deserve some pussy.
Oh, man.
I took a shower, so I deserve some pussy.
Yeah.
You know, nigga, you supposed to do that shit.
Man.
You know? And it's like, well, they won't let us lead the community. They won't let us lead. We don't have power because they won't let us. That's the first rule. You remember when I told you black folks are children?
Yeah.
These niggas are children.
No doubt.
In the real world, nobody gives you power.
Exactly. You take it.
Real power is something you take.
That's right.
So when you saying she won't let you do something, Dracarys.
Yeah, you lost in the game, lost in the sauce already just with that phrase. That let everybody know what your mindset right then and there, man. Shoot.
Exactly.
You a victim.
Exactly.
And ain't no woman gonna bow to no victim.
Never. Ever. It's not gonna happen. So you said, what can they do to fix the black community? Nothing. Nothing.
Man.
Nothing, because they don't want to fix the black community. Here's the thing. A lot of them want to take advantage of the crybaby initiatives.
Okay.
They want the community broken so that they can take advantage of it. But even with the community broken, they can't take advantage of it.
Wow.
That's like, imagine the roughest side of dating, right?
Okay.
That's like side trickster going to the roughest neighborhood in Dayton. Going to the Soda Bass Projects. You go to the Bass. That's like side trickster in the Bass at 2 a.m, kicking in the door, demanding the girl give him some draws. What do you think is gonna happen to him?
Oh man, shit. You gonna get razor blades or buckshot.
He gonna get bucks. Exactly. That's just exactly. So the best thing he can do is stay out of the soda bags. The best thing he can do is stay off the coast. The best thing he can do is stay out of Summit Square projects. That's the best thing he can do. So nothing can be done by them because they don't intend to do anything anyway. Their name is Buck, and they here to fuck.
Wow.
There's nothing that they can do. What is that saying you always used to say? The maximum range of an excuse?
It's 0 meters.
And they got more excuses. What did Ike Turner say? Come on, Ed. You got more excuses than a nigga going to jail, Ed. And that's them. They got more excuses than a nigga going to jail.
I've tried to express to cats, man, that rule that I hit them with the no excuses and whatnot, you know, as far as being a man, they seem to think that I'm letting women off the hook. When I say that black men, let me see here. What's the phrase I'm looking for, man? Shit.
Accountable?
No, when I basically talk about black men and black women, and I'm basically talking about how black men need to step forward and basically take control and take charge, and everything is basically the black man's fault. I say everything, and a lot of dudes, their minds can't handle that concept, man. They like, well, how you just gonna let her off the hook? How you just gonna let her off the hook? Yes.
They don't understand how power works.
Yeah, but what I'm always trying to express upon these cats, man, if you take that philosophy about no matter what happens in your life, it is your fault.
It is your fault.
It is like damn near impossible to fail.
Exactly.
Damn near impossible because you're never pointing the fingers and you're never, on this victim shit. You're always reevaluating and you're always calculating, you know what I mean, the moves that you make. And you always understand that no matter what happens in the grand scheme of things, it's your fault. Because somewhere along the line, you made a miscalculation. Or you made some sort of turn when you wasn't supposed to make a turn. You know what I mean? And they look at that and they like, man, you letting her off the hook when you say everything is my fault. No, man, I'm trying to protect you. I'm trying to give you a philosophy in life where it's damn near impossible to fail if you look at it in those terms.
They don't understand that, man.
Right.
Children. Something like that can only be understood with a certain level of maturity.
Right.
The men that say that lack that level of maturity. As C. Boogie would say, the American Negro is finished. He's finished.
Yeah, man. Their first retort is, but what about her?
What about her?
What about her?
Exactly.
You letting her off the hook? I'm like, oh my God, man. Can you grow up, nigga?
No.
Oh, man, bruh. Shit, so check this out, man. Since we on this issue, on this topic, man. Like I said, me and you got into this game on YouTube, was it 2014? And, we was kind of rubbing elbows with a lot of cats, man. And we was rubbing elbows with Black Manosphere dudes, Black Manosphere creators and whatnot. And, of course, you've gone off to do your own thing on Clubhouse and whatever. And you come back, back and forth every now and then periodically. And you've always expressed that me and you never were really the Black Manosphere or in it. You know what I mean?
We predated that. Back.
Yeah, of course.
We go back to the days of Liberated Syndicate.
Yeah, man. 2004, 2005. Yeah. So I'm just trying to ask you, even though we predate the Black Manosphere and everything that these niggas is talking about now, we did that, probably a decade before they even stumbled upon the very concept of a Black Manosphere, right? But do you think that the Black Manosphere is more of a detriment, or is it an asset to black men? What are your thoughts on the current state of the Black Manosphere?
The Black Manosphere, that's hard for me to answer because I don't think that any such thing really existed.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why.
All right.
I'll tell you why, right? If you have an organization, I'll give you the NAACP, for example. The nigga hear this, he gonna start talking about all type of shit wrong with the NAACP, and he's gonna miss the point.
Okay.
The NAACP is a group of people working towards a common goal, a common objective. Now, you may not have liked some of the things that they did. You may not have liked some of the choices that they made, or positions that they took, or avenues that they, take, or whatever. You may not like it. I get it. But the thing is they were working towards a common objective. They had issues and problems, but they never let that baggage destroy the organization.
Okay.
You with me?
Yeah.
Now, if we put this thing in the black on the face of the Black Manosphere, if we put this thing into the context of the Black Manosphere, the Black Manosphere was problematic from the beginning, and I'll tell you why. Whenever you try to organize the most disparate sections, whenever you try to organize the most disenfranchised of the disenfranchised,
okay,
it's going to be problems. And it's going to be problems because you got people within those ranks that don't respect authority. That's people in those ranks that these are niggas whose egos are out of whack, niggas that are antisocial, niggas that have all types of personal problems and behavioral disorders. Those type of people have to be put under some central command.
Okay.
You can't let them run free.
Okay.
The Black Manosphere allowed all these niggas to coalesce, and they were led by men primarily that could not instill any discipline that was necessary for organizational cohesion. Now, what did I say? Let's take, for example, you got three different, let's go with the so-called three fathers, three kings or fathers of the Manosphere.
Okay.
Well, first we have to talk about Tommy Sotomayor. He stood by himself. Okay? You can obviously say it evolved from him, and there was Sergeant Willie Pete and other people like that. But the contemporary era of the Black Manosphere was three people. O'Shea Duke Jackson, and I sent an email to him earlier.
Okay.
Angry Man and Mark Robinson.
Uh-oh. Not Mark.
And, Mark.
Okay.
Mark. I don't call him by that other name.
Okay.
So anyway, their egos were much too disparate to allow them to coexist. That was never going to work.
All right.
And then their prospective fan bases were reflections of their personalities. So you got three different personalities, and you got three different sectors, all of them personalities in conflict with each other.
Okay.
You have one guy over here who come off the block. The guy that come off the block sort of had a little chip on his shoulder. He wanted to try to protect his humanity and prove that because he didn't have educational achievements, that didn't mean that he wasn't intelligent.
Okay.
So he was always going to be challenging anybody who said anything he didn't want to hear, because he wanted to show you he was intelligent. And you had another dude who was sort of a outcast.
Okay.
Who was sort of a misfit and invisible. Who had been in these ranks of other men that were misfits and invisible. And he had managed to develop or find his voice later in life. He didn't have his voice earlier. His voice came to him later in life.
Okay.
And so he discovered that he had a bit of charisma that would attract people, but he was sort of untested in terms of knowing how to exist around other people.
Who was that? Who was that?
That's Mark. That's Mark.
Okay, that's Mark. Okay.
That's Mark.
Right.
And so he didn't understand, he didn't have the experience of jumping off the porch. In spite of anything he says, he did.
Right.
He didn't have the experience of, standing up to the bull. He never had that experience.
Right.
But this is my personal opinion. I don't think he has actually been around that element. Like, he may be familiar with him, but that's not him.
Okay.
And so he had to prove that he was smarter than the guy on the block, and he was just as masculine as the guy on the block.
Okay.
So that was problematic. Then you had the other guy over here who was, I call him the D-classed intellectual.
All right.
What is a D-classed intellectual? A D-classed intellectual is someone who comes from the block and they go through institutions of learning. Whether they graduate is not important, but they're exposed to the state institutions, the status quo. And so for whatever reason, they don't continue in the status quo, but they take the skills that they acquired in the status quo and they apply them for their own benefit.
All right.
And that person becomes successful. That's why they call him the D-classed intellectual. He goes over here to the bourgeois circle. He doesn't stay over there. He takes the skills there, he applies them, and he becomes successful. So you got these, and he's more even keeled than all of them. He's right there in the center.
Okay.
He's very practical. He's very strategic in his approach. He takes the long view. He has different ways he wants to grow this thing and expand this thing, but he's surrounded by a bunch of people that are counterproductive to the cause.
Okay.
So it's like being the only nigga in the room that can read when everyone else is illiterate.
All right.
And so that's what the Black Manosphere was like. The Black Manosphere was like the few dudes that had those skills, that knew how to succeed, and the rest of them were just followers that had some type of personal disorder, or they had some type of issue with them, but they liked what they heard, but they couldn't get along as individuals. They would like what an angry man would say, but they were antisocial.
Okay.
They would like what Mark would say, but they were antisocial. They were entertained by O'Shea, but they were antisocial. They couldn't get along with each other. And you can't have no organization and no group where people can't get along. There was constantly, Mac, you saw that. Every month they were falling out and fighting.
It was sad, man. I was like, God damn. I'm like, y'all beefing again?
They beefing again, then they make up, and then they beef again, and they make up, and they beef again, and they make up, and they'll say that's just men being men. That's bullshit.
Right.
And they'll say, well, white men beef, and white men beef, and they're right about that. But what the part that they leave out is that even though the white men beef, they still on one accord with respect to the organizational goals and the long-term objective of the mission. Okay. And that's them staying on top. Yeah, they disagree with each other, but they're going to stay on top. Well, I don't give a damn whether they're liberal or conservative. I don't care whether they're Democrat or Republican. I don't care whether they're suburban or 1%. They're going to have these little cleavages and these little internecine warfares, but they understand one thing. There must be a hegemonic separation. There must be a social hierarchy. And they must be higher in that social hierarchy than everybody else.
Right.
So it's not that they don't fight, but they still stay, quote unquote, uncool. That didn't happen with the Black Manosphere. Niggas was changing their message, and then when niggas was saying stuff, they was getting exposed. They was sitting up here saying, I don't mess around with women that's over 260 pounds, and they messing around with women that's 300 pounds. I mean, they would sing with kids and shit. They were saying all that shit. But then they were getting outed for doing the very thing that they would tell people. And like, these niggas is hypocrites. These niggas are like jackleg Baptist preachers.
Man.
Facts. And I was like, okay, I see this personality, their personalities don't mesh. So you can't have a cohesive unit. But they were united in one thing.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to fuck.
How about that?
They were united in that they wanted to fuck. But they weren't united in nothing else.
Okay.
Nothing else kept them together. So they kept warring and they kept fighting and they kept doing this. But the dudes that were, on the cusp of that and that were listening to those talking points that were more polished, that were more put together, took that rhetoric and they ascended and they didn't associate with them niggas.
Man, ain't that something?
You see what I'm saying? They didn't associate with them. I don't ever remember Sergeant Willie Pete hanging out at no Manosphere meeting. I'm not saying that one or two of them didn't talk to him, but he didn't hang out with them.
Okay.
What's the other dude? The lead attorney. You ain't gonna find him on their channels.
Okay.
And Kevin Samuels is another one. He was among that group, and they called him all type of faggots.
Right. Again,
a personality difference, because he came from a single home, the South, the culture of the South. He came from a Christian home, and he here with all these niggas that came that were from single parent, but they didn't have that Christian influence.
Okay.
They grew up in the Northwest, and grew up in the Northeast, and in the Midwest. And the culture that is different than black people grew up in the South. So you were going to have a cultural clash right there. So when he come here talking about put on cologne and wear suits, it was like, fuck you, faggot.
Damn.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But one little video where he tell a woman, she's average at best. Then all of a sudden, he's the champion of the sphere.
Yeah, crazy.
But there's no sphere there. And so when he blew up, he didn't associate with them niggas in the light of day. As they were kissing his ass, singing Hosanna to him, he would not acknowledge them niggas.
Wow.
He would not acknowledge them. Now he would come and he would maybe be in their chat rooms for a few minutes, but he would dip out. But he would go over there and hang out on Dennis Sperling's channel. He would go hang out on Leader Turn. The true elite, those are the people he was around.
Okay.
He would never hang around the rank and file Black Manosphere person. The people that were the most successful did not hang around what you call the Manosphere.
Okay.
And you can say whatever you want to say about that, but you asked me, the state of the black, is it a detriment? It was going to be a detriment because you could do the right thing for the wrong reasons. It was going to be a detriment because the niggas wasn't balanced.
Okay.
Here's what I mean. Example.
Can I learn you? How can I read you? How can I think you? And I can out-philosophize you. And I'm gonna outlast you.